Hello, welcome back. I'm on the Homestead and I'm just reading the instructions for this solvent cement, which I've never used before, because I've got a task in my head for today and I'm trying to make hay while the sun shines. Summer house is 20 degrees. Right, you can certainly feel it now starting to warm up. I'm going to have to find where my hat is. Now, this is my thinking. These are the pipes. At the moment, the cable for the live stream is just hanging off the posts around the homestead. I can't imagine that it's waterproof, and I think that's the issue that we've had before, why it keeps going offline. So I'm thinking, if I can put this on the wall, then feed the cable through, it should be safe. Now, unfortunately, I thought I had bought everything. So I've got the hooks to go into the wood. I've also got the connections and I've got the plastic cement. The one thing I thought I had bought, which I haven't, is I want connections, but I want two that go down. Because if they're up, rain will get in. And even, I think, if it's just like that, driving rain could start building up from the side. So if I can get one that goes down, then I think I am making it waterproof that way. So I need one for the cable to go in and one for the cable to come out. So I'll buy a pack next time I'm going. So add that to the list so I don't forget. So for those that are watching the live stream at the moment, I'm going to switch it off because I need to feed the cable through. So this is the camera that I use for the live stream. I'll put details about the make in the description below if you're interested. So, and this is the post, the piping. So that needs to go into this. And there's no way of doing it other than switching it off. So there we go. The live stream is now switched off. And just to check, will that go through there? Yes, it will. Right, let's get on with it then. it has been an absolutely beautiful day. Between 1 and 3 it did get a bit hot and I had to go home for some dinner. But unfortunately I need to go home now because as I've been working my trousers have been ripping and it's got to the point where bits may be shown and I haven't got underwear on, so I need to leave now before it gets worse. But before I do go, I'll just give you a quick update of where I've got to so far on the old asparagus bed. It is absolutely beautiful soil to work. I'll be interested to see how it fares with crops in it. I've got up to there. I've just got about another foot left to weed and I would like to finish it now, but I really need to leave because if these trousers get any worse then I could be arrested. But it's been an absolutely glorious day and the sun now, there's still a few hours left, but I'm going to go home and order a new pair of trousers. Well, according to the thermometer, the hottest it's been today is 30.5 degrees. That's the hottest it's been. The temperature right now is, let's try and work this out, 27 degrees. And that's in the shade. In fact, it is so warm, I've had to dig out my Tenerife hat. In fact, it's warmer here than it is in Tenerife. Now I came down to continue doing a bit of digging, but not in this heat. Maybe I'll go and sit and feel the cold spray from a babbling stream. And this apparently is not even the hottest day of the week. It's supposed to get even hotter later on. But this is where I got to yesterday when I came down. And this is for asparagus. But I need to do double more of the width of that in order to put them in. But like I said, I ain't going to be out digging in this weather. In fact, I think I'm going to head straight home and have a nice cooling cup of tea. Amazon have just been. Remember last year I bought this eco-friendly washing up powder, washing up liquid, called Wild Rhubarb and Lemon. So that has lasted a year and there's still a bit left. But I've bought a new one and I had to check it because when it turned up, the box was a bit battered and bruised. And he said, "Are you prepared to accept it?" So I've just been inspecting it and I'm happy with it anyway. Right, I'm making a cup of tea. I'm going to have this hearty chicken and vegetable soup because I did have a large dinner around about 1 o'clock. So I want something light tonight. Now it's a bit later than usual. I would like to eat, but there's a reason for why, and it involves the police and a plumber, and I'll tell you the story. Right, let's put a little bit of pepper in there. So, the police called. There's been an ongoing situation that I haven't spoken about because it was a police incident. And I had to wait until it came to an end. So it's coming to an end today. So about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, elderly woman came banging on my front door. And I've got all this on security camera. came banging on the front door and was shouting at the top of her voice, like an old washerwoman, about accusations to do with a light on the homestead. There is a light on your allotment and it is interfering with my gas boiler and my TV. Explain that one. A light on your allotment that is interfering with my gas boiler and my TV. Now, because of the live stream, I could go back, and I did this about a week ago, and it took 6 hours to do. I went back and I looked through all the footage of that evening, and there was nothing, because there are no lights down there that can come on in the middle of the night. But you've got to get the evidence. So I sat down and in fact the video I think is on my second channel, because I put it up there to make it easier for the police to see. And I said, I don't know who this woman is, but I don't want her coming at my front door or knocking at my back door. Nothing to do with me, Gov, just because I've rented out the land there. But let's nip this in the bud, because I know there's been issues with other neighbours. And the police went to go and see her yesterday, and they phoned me today to give me an update to say that they've had a word with her, and in fact, as they approached the house, she said, "Have you come for me?" So it's not the first rodeo. So they have had a word, and she said, "Sean's got nothing to do with it, and I shouldn't have gone there. I was mistaken." She's got a beef with somebody else in the street, and I wasn't aware of this, and I happened to bring those people onto the homestead to have a look because they were interested to see what was going on. And in the crossfire, I then was involved. I think I'll put a little bit of mint sauce in this. So she's accepted her mistake, and let us hope this is the end of it, and that whatever issue she's got with these other neighbours, she'll deal with it with them and keep me out of it. Don't want that type of stress at the door. And in fact, the cats have taken over a week to get back to normal, because the shouting was raucous, and they went and hid, and it took them a few days to calm down. So hopefully that's finished. But this morning, the bathroom and the kitchen were flooded again. And I thought, if you remember last time I said, oh, it must have been the toilet. But then I realised last night, it came to me like a clock striking 8. It wasn't the toilet, it was the bath. And then I looked back at my diary, and the same thing happened in January. What it is when I pull the tap out, the water can't get down the hole fast enough. But when he took the front off this afternoon to have a look at it, the pipe was actually, he just touched it and the pipe fell down. So we're hoping that he's fixed it. But he did go outside and he said there is a blockage in your pipe and we can't work it out. The pipe is outside and it doesn't go down the back gardens as you would imagine, any sensible builder. It seems to go into the bathroom and then just drops down about 20 foot. But he used one of my bamboo canes. He couldn't get the bamboo cane to. So anyway, he's gone for the day, and he will come back tomorrow with another company to put a rod down and try and get rid of my blockage. So I can't have a bath, I can't have a shower. He said, we'll try and do it tomorrow, but it could be a few days. Well, it's the hottest week of the year so far. So if you live local and you see me, don't bother coming up, because there might be a bit of a pong. And if I get desperate, I might have to pop in around the river and give myself a wash. Let's hope it doesn't come that far. Right, I've had a bit of post bag, bit of birthday gifts. Oh, I can see one of the cats. Let me open the back door. There you go. Do you want to go outside for a quick run around? No. So I've had a few things sent to me. So thank you very much to Anthony of Fox Hill Farms. Say that once you've had a vodka. Fox Hill Farms sent me a mini and maxi thermometer, and that will be very handy for when the greenhouse is built, which could be in the next week. Now, I've got these mixed up a bit, so I may give the wrong name for the wrong gifts. But this is from Helen. So thank you very much to Helen for this gift, which is a magnet, which the magnet's now going down to the summer house because that red box that I've got, the magnets are looking good on that. And also a sign, would you like an adventure or shall we have tea first? And I'd always say, let's have a cup of tea first. So thank you very much for those. Now, the PO box is still open. Like I said, I got a bit of a discount for staying open for a few months longer. But what I'm confused by is, and I'm just reading this letter now to see if I can find it. Because I've had a tea cosy sent to me. And this is the name that I've mislaid, unfortunately. Look at that. What shall we call that? So that's why I'm a bit confused. So the next parcel is from Christine and Lucy. I will read the letter over my soup in the privacy of my soup, and they have sent some curtain wire, which is what I need for the summer house in order to put the French linen curtains on. I won't be getting them this month. I've spent my budget, so we'll have to wait till June. And they have sent a recyclable bag as well. So thank you very much for that. We could always do with a bag. In fact, this might be quite handy to put my washing in, because I did my washing last night. It was all nice and dry. I put it into the basket to go upstairs, and when I came down, the basket was soaking, and I've had to wash all the clothes again. So that's why I haven't had a lot of time down the homestead. I'm trying to make the most of this heat. So thank you very much, and I will find out who sent this, and I'll thank you again on the next video as well. Right, well, I'm going to have a cup of tea now, and my soup is nearly boiling. But before I say goodbye, let's go outside, because it is a beautiful evening. Right, I've just found the card that's come with this. So thank you very much to Paula for sending me this tea cosy for the Brown Betty, along with a very attractive card. Now, like I said, let's go outside very quickly, and I'll show you the evening air. There's a very beautiful bird singing. I'm going to spend some time in the garden over the next week or two as well. And I've got my pair of gloves ready, because this is where the cats like to poo. And I love this flower. I'm going to get far more of them. So it just needs a good old weed. Oh, some bluebells there. These tulips have been stunning. I'll have to go through my notes and find out the variety. And the Obrisia is lighting up in the evening sky there. Oh, that's a weed. That needs to come out. And then next door, the chives are starting to come into flower. And just one lonely daffodil. So the plan is to weed this top bit and to put some runner beans in. I've ordered some canes. I've got 50 canes turning up in the next few days. I quite like the dandelions, to be honest. The garden's been full of bees over the last few days, with them doing their bee thing. It's quite nice, this little seat here. But warm days, and we're still getting cold nights. So don't be in too much of a rush to put things out into the garden. It's getting quite chilly just being stood here now. I think I'll be putting that tea cosy on my head. Oh, there's Amber in the neighbour's garden. But it's beautiful just to stand here and listen to the birds. But like I said, it's getting chilly, so I will catch up with you next time. So from until then, bye for now.